you only had 10 exercises for the rest of time to build the best body that you could. What are you going to choose?
What's good, guys? In today's video, we're going to be ranking Sam Sulek's top 10 exercises of all time. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to be ranking the list all together on an S to F tier. So we'll individually rate each of these exercises, and then at the end, we'll judge the entire list as a whole.
Talk me through the philosophy.
I've got a roster set up. So when it comes to legs, but for me, like if I had to pick a quad movement, I would just kill it on the leg extensions because you can really pump them up, go a little heavier.
All right, so the first on Sam Sulek's list was the leg extension. I was really surprised to hear that, especially being as big as he was. I thought he would have chosen like the barbell back squat or alternating exercise like walking lunges, but no, he chose the leg extension. And I really love the leg extension just because like you can really go ham on your quads and it's not too much pressure on your knees because most leg extension exercises, most, not all, but most are pin loaded. You can do drop sets simultaneously and quickly without wasting too much time. So I really like leg extensions. It's probably one of my favorite leg exercises. So if I'm gonna rate the leg extension, I'm giving it S tier. Yes, leg extensions are definitely, it isolates the quads, but I think that's the whole point.
I'm very torn. Either seated or laying curl, but either way, a hamstring curl.
You've got to pick one. I'm afraid, Sam. You can't.
I guess I'd have to pick the. I'd have to pick laying. I would have
get a little bit more stretch.
I would. Well, I just like, not even because of that, because you would actually, in a seated position,
if you pull forward,
would your hips not be more rounded over where your hamstrings tie in? Right now, I'm on a kick of laying curl.
The lying leg curl. Now, obviously, I love this exercise for isolating the hamstrings. So there's no problems there. It doesn't do much for targeting any other muscle groups. Like sometimes people would choose something like RDL because you can simultaneously target the hamstrings while also getting a little bit of glute activation. No problem there. Great exercise, something that I do on a regular basis and is a staple in my program. So if I'm gonna rate the lying leg curl, it's gonna be really up there. Maybe not S tier, but definitely A tier. Giving the lying leg curl A tier. No real complaints other than it's a real isolation exercise.
And then for back, I'd probably just have to do regular pull downs, but you could also cheat them into a row by leaning back extra far, make it super heavy and do a closer grip. And you get a little forearm and bicep just from the nature of that's more of a compound movement of a row, but then you can really load it too.
All right, moving on to the third exercise. This one was mainly back, but very specific. The lat pull down with extra lean, with a little bit extra lean, maybe a few extra degrees of leaning into a row. So not only are you targeting the lats, but you're also targeting those hard to get rhomboids, which are the muscle group which is more in the internal medial part of your back. With the extra row, I don't know. I personally like the lat pull down for its purpose, which is targeting the lats. So with the extra lean, I'm gonna give it a B tier. You let me know in the comments. You could disagree. So you let me know if you agree with my rating.
What's for?
What I think I'd have to pick now would actually be a seated cable press. So if you've ever seen seat here, cable here, you pull it in, you kind of like this.
Okay.
Because
that is neutral throughout that.
Pretty neutral, yeah.
Yeah. So you're not allowed.
Not incline, not decline. Like kind of hands up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's a much more versatile set. Because I can do it really heavy, like a conventional press, but I could also go lighter and be much more squeeze emphasized.
Seated cable press with a neutral grip. Now, everybody knows I love my chest exercises. It's by far my favorite muscle group to train. So I'm gonna be critical here. Now, usually when I'm using that same machine that you see on the screen, I'm using it more for a fly. It never really occurred to me to use it as a press because I usually do my pressing with actual pressing machines, either like a seated isometric chest press or incline chest press. So I'm rarely using the cables for a pressing movement. It's almost always for a fly, but I didn't have a problem here. I like the isolation and the contraction that I felt in the pecs. So if I was gonna rate this exercise S to F tier, probably a C, C or B, either or.
Okay, number 5.
So 5 and 6 for arms would be, well, for triceps first, I'd probably have to pick just a easy bar curl push down. So not the V bar, like 90 degrees is too much. Straight is also a little too much on your wrists. So a little camber, more like a 120, that's about right.
The easy bar with the push down, so for the triceps. Now, I like this exercise. I do it often, and I like that I'm able to bring my hands a little bit closer. Not too much to complain about here. If I was going to go between that and the rope, maybe 8 times out of 10 I'm going to go with the rope, but I do like the easy bar. If I had to rate this exercise, I'm going to give it a B. No, you know, nothing too low here. I like all these exercises.
Okay.
And then dumbbells is just dumbbell curls. Like it's hard to beat.
Seated, standing, supinated.
Would it count as different movements?
Yes, got to pick one.
Well, I guess I'd have to just pick standing.
Standing, supinated.
So more of a classic twist of neutral at your hips into supinated.
Yeah.
Everybody always asks me how I'm able to get my protein, and for a lot of people it's hard to get all of the grams of protein that you need with just the food from your meals. So me personally, I use the casein vanilla whey from HTLT supplements. If you're looking to supplement either your energy, you can use the HTLT pre-workout 3.0, or if you're just trying to get some extra protein to make sure you hit your protein goals to put on muscle, you can use the HTLT casein and whey. All really delicious flavors, and if you want to support the channel and support me and everything that I do on this channel, you could go on to HTLT supplements and use code JesusV for 15% off. Let's get back into the video. Moving into standing dumbbell curl with the twist at the top. Now, I like this, and actually I think I'm gonna incorporate this into my program now, because it really allows you to be able to lift a lot more weight. Now, Sam obviously has a lot of muscle, so he knows what he's doing, and that extra little few degrees of twisting your wrist at the top, it doesn't seem like much, but it really allows you to focus on squeezing the bicep at the top. Just do it right now. Like if you do a bicep, like just squeeze your bicep and then you start to turn your wrist, you can feel extra tightness in the bicep muscle. So I really like that, and it allowed me to curl the 40s, which I usually don't do, if I'm gonna be honest. I only usually go heavy with the cables to avoid any like joint damage. So I liked that I was able to curl the 40s for a good amount of reps with that twist at the top. So yeah, that's gonna be a good one. If I had to rate it S to F tier, I'm not hugely critical on bicep exercises, so I'll give that an A tier. Yeah, really good exercise.
Relative, my arms need to grow, so I would want to add a forearm curl cable.
Okay.
So you're holding the 1D handle, cable up here, I'm loading it down this way, Like this is the force,
Okay.
and I'm just doing this.
Okay.
And it's not a huge movement.
Yep.
But it's like enough where you actually kind of thicken this up. And I used to do a ton of that. And then my forearms got big enough, and then I never did it again.
Moving on to the forearm cable curl. Now, I've never done this exercise, so I'm not gonna pretend that I knew how to do it. I don't know where Sam Sulek got the idea from, but I specifically did this exercise for this video, and it never even occurred to me to do that. I usually do wrist curls from the bottom, or I'll either do it with a bar, or I'll do reverse curls. But it never occurred to me to, like, just go like that. It's just such a simple movement, and I really liked it, and I liked the forearm activation that I was getting just from doing this, and it was much more comfortable. So that might be my new forearm exercise. So if I had to rate it S to F tier, I'm giving it an S tier. That's an S tier forearm movement, and much better than the alternatives that I was previously using. S tier for the forearm curl.
After that, I'd probably have to add a calf raise, just because.
Standing, seated?
Yeah, seated. Seated's a little bit better.
Okay. Even though you're going to be hitting, I always get these the wrong way around.
Yeah,
gastroc versus
soleus, whatever. Yeah. For me, I feel it, and my calves will grow from it.
Seated calf raise. I'm just gonna be honest. I prefer standing. It's very simple. Dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. It's literally joint does one movement. There's not much else to do when it comes to calf raises, so it's self-explanatory. I particularly like the standing calf raise because usually what the standing calf raise allows me to do is sink my heels all the way down, which gives me some extra inches of range of motion. So when I do that plantar flexion, I really get a good contraction, and I slowly sink myself down, and I just don't feel that same. I don't feel it the same when I'm doing the seated calf raise. If I had to rate it S to F tier, honestly, seated calf raise, I'm giving it a D tier. Yeah, not my favorite.
Okay, got 2 left.
So the next one has to be the cardio bike, which not many people would add, because they're thinking, I don't even need to do cardio, because it's not in their mind. But that's, yeah, so seated, and then the pedals are like where my feet are over here. So it's kind of a reclined.
So a little bit further back.
It's a reclined position.
The next was the reclined cardio bike, which I was very surprised to see. I thought all of these exercises were going to be resistance strength training exercises, but Sam Sulek, being the anomaly that he is, chooses the incline cardio bike. Now, I don't use this machine ever. I only used it for this video. It's definitely not my preferred method of cardio. If I'm going to personally do cardio, it's either going to be the Stairmaster to get some extra quad and calf activation, or I'm going to just walk or run outside because, like, I want to see some scenery. I'm going to preface this again, I hate doing cardio in the gym. It's just so mundane and boring. Yes, you can watch your phone, but for me, I'd rather be out in nature, listening to some good ambient music, going deep in my thoughts. So for me, this is very low on the S to F tier. I'm going to give the recline cardio bike an E tier. The only reason I'm not giving it an F because it is effective, but I do not like it, not one bit. E tier for the reclined cardio bike. Sorry, Sam.
I'd have to, I'm a little reluctant, but I can't think of anything else I would want to do. I'd pick the adductor machine. So that's where you're squeezing your legs together.
Okay, why?
Makes your legs a little thicker in the middle. Because it's this whole kind of like system of like kind of, it ties in kind of below your knee, more hamstring, but it's this sort of just piece right in the center where if your adductors were completely undeveloped, and you just stood up straight with your knees straight, you'd have a really big gap.
And then lastly, this was interesting, the adductor machine. I would have thought he would have did the abductor to get a little bit more of that vastus lateralis, but apparently Sam likes to focus a little bit more on the medialis, which is the internal part of the leg. So that's why he chose the adductor machine. I use the machine. I like it. If you said I had 10 exercises to do for the rest of my life and couldn't do any others, this exercise wouldn't have made it on the list. I'm just keeping it a buck. So if I had to rate the exercise for a top 10 list, I'm gonna give it a C. I do it, I like it. It's just not gonna make the top 10 of all exercises. I'm sorry, that's just me. So yeah, those are the 10 exercises and how I rated them. Let me know if you disagree, and don't just say, oh, you're stupid. Like, let me know why. I'm giving you a rationale and reasoning why I'm rating these exercises the way that I'm rating them. So let me know why you either agree or disagree. Now it's time to rate the list as a whole. Now, when I saw the C-Bum list, when I saw the Jesse list, the Will list, a lot of those exercises made sense for me, and I didn't rate them as a whole. This is the first time I'm doing this, but if I had to rate Sam's list, especially in comparison to what I would have chosen and what those other guys chose, I'm giving Sam's list like a C or a D, really. It's not the top of the heap. I'm just sorry, because the whole premise of the idea is like, these are the only 10 exercises you get to use for the rest of your life. What would they be? And that's what Sam chose. And I want to say a lot, but probably like half of those exercises that appeared on his list would have never made it on my list. So let me know. I rated each exercise and I rated the entire list as a whole, giving Sam's list a C tier. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. If you want HTLT supplements, make sure you go on to htltsubs.com, use code JesusV. And as always, until next time, fuck your insecurities. Peace.